Hello, friends. Today we are going to talk about the different options which we have for opening a bank account for all the students who are going to start the course at UBC in the fall in this year. So I will walk through the different options which you have and also give you an insights to help you make a better decisions in which bank you would like to open the account. So in Canada, there would be multiple banks, but we are actually going to go through a few of the most popular and most used banks which are there in UBC. We are going to view the details of those banks only. Okay, so what is the things which you need to take into consideration when you are opening up account for a bank? So basically, you have to open an account as an international student. What is the documentation and identification papers which you need for that? What are the options of opening a bank account in UBC campus? So these are the things which we are actually going to view today. So I'm going to start with a disclaimer that I have actually collated this information after researching to best of our effort, but some of the aspects may get missed out, right? So we are sharing the information about the most used banks in UBC campus, and this is definitely not a holistic list of all the banks in Canada and the different account privileges which are associated with them. So let's see what we have in the details today. So friends, let's start by understanding what are the key Canadian banks and what is their fee structure. How to choose the bank like to open the student account and the type of bank account which you need to open, whether it is a checking account or a saving account. So what are the banking options which you have? The bank account opening is the most important activity and it needs to be done as the second activity when you reach your university campus at UBC. The first one being the activity of getting your student permit, which you have already completed at the airport itself, right? So this is the second thing. After that, once you have the study permit, that is the second step which you need to take to actually have the bank account open. For two reasons, that is a precursor to the third activity, which is getting a SIM card. Because when you are getting a SIM card, you will need to have a bank account number from which you need to link your account billing information, right? So this is the second activity which you need to have. And also many a times, for the fee transfer, which many of the parents keep on trying to understand what is the best way to transfer money. If you transfer the money from your account to your child's account in UBC, then in my understanding, based on multiple discussions which have happened with the parents, if your bank is giving a better conversion ratio, then that is the best way actually to transfer money, because you don't have any intermediary who is going to actually deduct a percentage of points for the service or percentage of money for the services which they are imparting. So if you transfer directly from your account to your child's account in UBC, and from that account you can directly pay the fees for the housing accommodation as well as for the fees which keeps on coming regularly. So that's why it is very important. Like when I had opened the account for my child, that is how I had transacted the fees, a direct debit from my bank account to my child's account, which happens within a day, and then the same day debit to the university, right? So that is another input which you may want to explore. That will depend on what is your home bank, right? And what are their terms and conditions of actually transferring the money. So going on to the next one, basically understanding how to open the student account is an important activity, because in Canada, unlike in many of the other countries, all the transaction or the services which the banks impart are they have a transaction fees on it, as in they are payable. So mostly students are already in a economic budget, so they would not like to pay for additional fees for any of the activity which they would perform, including keeping their account live, right? So we should look carefully at the services and the fee structure which the different banks are giving to us. Looking at the bank account, there are basically two types of a bank account which are available. One is the checking account, which is like, equivalent to the current account which many of the banks have. Most of the banks for the students do open the checking account, and if you request them, they will also open a associated saving account. Now, saving account will be opened where all the services which are getting imparted would have a service fee associated with it. So many of the students would opt for opening a saving account along with checking account. In case they are working, they may opt for this account, right? Otherwise, most of the students' account are checking account, right? So that is a transaction which basically will be made from bank to bank. And how is your particular condition? So some of the things which you need to look when you're opening a student checking account. Is there a monthly fee? So we would definitely look for a no monthly fees. Free transaction permitted by your bank. Free e-transactions, that is unlimited Interact e-transfers which are permitted by the bank. Now Interact e-transfers are equivalent to Paytm or Payla or PayNow or the different services which we have of direct debit to a particular mobile number or to a particular email account from the bank. So that is a Paytm equivalent service which is provided by the banks. The access to the ATMs, right? If it is free or ATM points are in your vicinity, how far away it is, because if you actually withdraw money from another bank's account, another bank's ATM machine, then in that case it is a chargeable service, right? There is no fee for a credit card which you may want to pick up from the bank. Low or minimum balance requirements, like if there is a zero balance requirement or there is $100 or $1,000 minimum account balance required, and if you can earn rewards on your transaction, that is also something which will be things which you should look at the different dimensions when you are opening the account. So location of the branch is also an important criteria, because many a times initially your credit card is not working or your debit card is not working or transaction is not happening. You need to walk down to the branch and resolve the issues, right? So that should be in the vicinity of the university. That is why we have shortlisted 4 of the banks, right, which in my understanding are having a branch location inside the university, which are the Scotia Bank, Royal Bank of Canada, TD, and CIBC. So these are the 4 banks about which we are going to talk. So Scotia is the 3rd largest bank, right, which is there, and it has a student checking account by the name of Student Banking Advantage Plan, by which it actually provides a facility to open a bank account for most of the students. RBC is Canada's largest bank, which is by market capitalization. TD has got a huge coverage. It has got more than 2,300 branches and it has got more than 4,000 ATMs, and it does have a student checking account option also available. CIBC has been formed by merger of 2 previous banks, which is a Canadian Bank of Commerce and Imperial Bank of Canada, and they also do have a student checking account. So these are the different options which are available to us for opening the account for the students, right? So on this particular video, if you will be seeing here, I have given a tabular comparison for the students checking account. So checking account for CIBC, Scotia, RBC and TD is what I have listed here. All of them do have a debit card and they do not have a monthly account fees just to keep an account in their particular bank. They don't charge any fees, all 4 of them. Monthly free debit transactions are unlimited for CIBC and Scotia Bank, whereas for RBC Bank there are 25 debit transactions which you can do, and for TD Bank again 25 debit transactions which you can do. Interact fee transaction, so which I explained to you, is an Paytm equivalent transaction which you have to do, and this is the most required one. Most of the transactions in the university, in my experience, by the students happen through Interact, right? If they go out somewhere, they want to share money for the food which they have eaten, one person has paid, they actually transfer money through Interact very, very often, and this is the most used facility. So CIBC and Scotia offer unlimited RBC also offers unlimited, whereas in TD Bank it is capped to 25 transaction, which is actually a 25 including the debit transaction. So it is debit transaction plus Interact transaction, both capped at 25. For additional debit transaction above your limit, right, for CNBC and for Scotia it is not applicable. For RBC, additional debit transaction is going to cost you $1, whereas for TD Bank it is going to cost you $1.25. Credit cards are available for students above 19 years of age. So above 19 years of age and upon qualification, yes, they are available for CIBC as well as for TD. For Scotia Bank, they have different two cards for students. One is the Scene card and the Learn card, which has some cashback offers along with it. And for RBC, you have a Petropoint cashback credit card for students. So different options are available for all the banks, and few are specific offerings which are made for the students. Additional features which are there for CIBC, like there is a special bank account for medical and dental students. For Scotia Bank, you earn rewards on your debit transactions also. For RBC Bank, there is a free SPS membership for exclusive merchant offers like Apple, Samsung and things like that. For TD, I did not in my research find anything specific. If there is something which the parents are aware of, they can write in the comment section and I can update this chart here. Now this student accounts have got many facilities. If you see, like they have the unlimited transactions, unlimited monthly transactions, no account fees and things like that. But as soon as the student actually graduates, this account gets converted to a regular account for CIBC, Scotia as well as for TD Bank. But for RBC Bank, the student can keep the account with its purse for 6 months after graduation. So that is a perk which is available for the RBC Bank. So with this, you can actually make a comparison and figure out which particular one works best for you and for your child needs. So the documents which you need to open the bank account for international students, you need 2 documents out of the list below. So I have given 6 options which are available. Out of these 6, you need 2, right? So you need your passport, or it can be a letter of acceptance from the University of British Columbia or any of the universities where you are studying, your study permit. So if you see, out of this, actually your passport and study permit and letter of acceptance, all 3 would be there with you when you have reached the campus. For the students who are coming from US, they have some temporary permits like the IM forms. If you have a Canadian or a US driving license, that can also be one of the 2 documents which you can submit, or some Canadian government identification card, for example a BC ID card or something equivalent to that. So out of 6, you need 2 documents for opening the bank account. So I'm sure that all of our children will be having at least 2 of these documents when they reach the campus, and they would be perfectly poised to open the account in the bank of their choice. So here I have given you the photographs of the bank's branches in the University of British Columbia campus. So as I explained to you, Scotia Bank as well as CIBC Bank is located on the University Boulevard, right, which is just next to the Nest building, and inside the Nest we have the RBC Bank outlet, whereas the TD Bank outlet is there in the Westbrook Village. To see the locations of this, please refer to my previous video where I have given you a detailed insights on the UBC layout. So with that, I come to the end of this video. I hope this information would help you. Thank you so much. Please subscribe to my channel to receive more videos on how to make the journey to UBC more comfortable for your students. Thank you so much, parents. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, friends.